Welcome my friends, this is Maniacal Incorporated, and we are once again stuck in a lengthy series of wars on the continent. We're in two wars for Burgundy. Defending Burgundy, our son-in-law. And we're the only allies that he's called in, we're the only allies that he has. Surely that can't be right. Surely he should have called in his mother, the Queen of Aragon. Well, no. Because he is a claimant to the Kingdom of Aragon, and as such, he cannot form an alliance with his mother, so we are, for some reason, the only major alliance that he has established. I don't know if any of his siblings are married off to anybody. We're bringing across another close to 5,000 troops. We're going to try and bring these two wars to an end. If we're called into any more wars by Burgundy, I'm going to refuse. We're not in a position to keep fighting an endless series of wars down this end of the world. We're going to hold a royal court, and then we're going to see if we can bring these wars to an end. But before we do that royal court, we have a couple of things that we need to sort out. We can't see it at the moment, but one of our vassals in Kirken has attacked the King of Scotland for a county. It'd be fantastic if my vassals would just slowly tear Scotland apart and get the land that we need to usurp the crown. We've too many duchies. We've 4 duchies, which is too many. We're going to give one away. We took Strathclyde in the last episode and executed Ranald, who had killed our grandson. I was going to say our son. Our grandson Patrick in battle. So we took him prisoner. Lots of raid modifiers. No point trying to make him like us. And so we took the decision of executing him. We have the Duchy of Galloway to hand out. And here's an interesting character. Ruling the actual county of Galloway. 25, married to a 42-year-old. And on his death, doesn't look like they're going to have any children. On his death, the county, and if we were to give him the duchy as well, would pass to his sister. Let's see who she is. Why, this is our granddaughter-in-law. Here's our grandson, Crusader. His father, Patrick, will one day be King of Ireland and Scotland if we can seize control of it. And we're going to try and install his wife on the Isles. So do you know what? To keep this man happy, we are going to grant him the title of the Petty Kingdom of Galloway. And finally, we have Lucia, Nick Patrick. So there's her brother, Crusader. There's her father, Patrick. So she's our granddaughter. She's come of age, no great stats. And we could marry her off to secure various different alliances. What we will do, because of course her father will become King of Ireland and Scotland, her uncle will become King of Wales. So we will marry her to the new Count in Wales. His father was deposed in the last episode, I imagine, for being a divil. The Order of Malta was used against him, because I think he was Adamite at one stage. He'd taken off his clothes. It was a holy show. So we're going to organise that marriage. If nothing else, it will keep him out of factions, but it might also give Lucia's father an ally in Wales, if he ever casts his attention in that direction. And this time, finally, I just said finally there when we were marrying off Lucia, this time, finally, stress is quite high. And we have 2 options for getting rid of stress. We can lash out or write down our thoughts. We're going to write down our thoughts, definitely. It will hit diplomacy ever so slightly. It doesn't knock off a great deal. Knocks off 28. I'd be hoping we're not going to get any stress-inducing options in the royal court that will bring that over 100, and if we do, we can instantaneously lash out to deal with that. Here is our royal court. Grandeur, 9. We have overtaken the Vatican. Here it is, the greatest court in the world. There's the greatest skull. I've clicked out of it on accident. There's the greatest skull in the world. There's also the joint greatest skulls in the world. You will never find a cabinet better than that. And a lovely statue. Let's hold a court. Somebody's getting very uppity. Here is our new Duke. He's barely even gotten the letter confirming him as a Duke. His voice is severe. I request that we launch an investigation about an infamous preacher in Dún Pádraig. You see, this preacher is, well, she's a woman. This is not in accordance with our faith. HB3 interjects. He's correct in the assessment. That is the preacher's only flaw. Everything she teaches is in accordance with our faith. What will give me piety? Nothing, I don't think. Preacher loved by the peasants. So control growth will decrease, but popular opinion will go up. Or throw her in jail. So control goes up, popular opinion goes down, something we've never really cared too much about. And what does Shiama look like? Nothing great, stats-wise, nor looks-wise. And we do need to keep our opinion up with HB3, and you should be very happy with us, because we've just given you a duchy. Preacher loved by the peasants. 'Tis grand. We need more people to spread the word of God. The next petitioner is evidently somewhat of a stranger in this court, as I do not recognize her. And the eyes of our marshal, that idiot, have been on them since they first entered. My lord, I have come to declare that the people of Angus are refusing to pay the taxes you have levied upon us. In times past, our land and people were granted rights and privileges, which your recent exactions ignore. We request that you address our concerns fairly, or else. I don't think we need to go much beyond this first option. 32%. The upstart peasants are defeated. 67% that they're unable to... Oh yeah, because he's stone useless. Trick the ringleaders into an ambush. I'm willing to hear you out. These are not great options. Of all these options, there's an opportunity to gain stewardship, diplomacy, intrigue, martial. So if there was one for learning, I'd go for that, but there isn't. Now, the chances are near zero. Well, they're not near zero, they're 32. But I'm going to go with this one, because if we do get that 100 martial lifestyle, it might help to push us towards getting those extra knights, the ones I said that we didn't want. But they will give me extra piety. So we will see. Imprison this wretch, marshal, and crush the rabble. Fair play to him. He's utterly incompetent, but somehow he did indeed manage to crush the rabble. Our next petitioner is an extremely angry Countess Maria of Sutherland. She is one of only 2 people arrayed in an independence faction against us at the moment. With the briefest of deference shown, Countess Maria relays that some of my knights, led by Ponce, have passed through the earldom of Sutherland recently. They have looted, pillaged, and despoiled the villages and farms in Sutherland. It is an absolute travesty, my High King, and I will not stand for it. What shall I do? So here's an opportunity to lose some stress. We can say that they march in defense of us all, which is absolutely true. Knight effectiveness up 10%. We could pay her 151 gold, go way out of that. What's this? If you cannot keep the peace, then maybe it should be my land. So we could seize the earldom from her. She already doesn't like us. She's already arrayed in an independence faction against us. She doesn't have a tremendous... She doesn't have a tremendous army. They march in defense of us all. Stop complaining. And of course, if Maria does become difficult, I believe we have some hooks on her. We might be able to use them to force her out of any factions. But at the moment, the numbers are nowhere near alarming. Probably one of the reasons why the High King is making the decisions that he has made. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room. There is a large army of about 5,000 men heading for Burgundy, so surely a lot of people are active. Not you, because you don't even know what a sword is, my marshal. My business here is done. And actually, look at this, speak of the devil, and she will give us even more weak hooks. We are told that there's a secret. What is it? Disputed heritage around one of her children. I think around a few of her children. I'm not too sure who the actual father is. We have a couple of chunks of armies here. Some of them are allied, some of them are hostile. So we can actually see there, 2 hostile armies have just hit each other. If they come towards us, I don't know what we're going to do. I think we're going to... I'd like to get these sieges finished, but again, we still have no siege master. Nobody who knows how to use these siege weapons in all of Scotland. If they do come for us, I think we're going to try and head north. Because we do have the Irish forces, more Irish forces coming in this region. So I'm sending them through France to hit here. Yeah, we're nowhere near finishing those sieges. If we get you guys there. There you go. Run away. Bravely, bravely run away. Hopefully... Oh, just out in time. And yeah, they're running after us, the devils. Where... Here we go, we have 2 more forces, 2 more units coming in. Can we make their distance or their journey a bit shorter? We can indeed, so yeah, now it's on. It's a bit of a chase to see if we can get our forces out. Wow. That was close. I have no idea how that was that close. We've learned another, all we're doing now is learning secrets. About you, you fool, you silly fool. Wouldn't we have felt foolish if we'd actually given in to her? So she has taken her steward as a lover. Okay. Scahawk has finished. Scahawk is trying to find secrets on people so we can keep them out of independence factions going forward. What's after happening here? Our cousin, Finlay, Mock Gillicomon, was killed in a siege. I imagine that is somewhere up in Norway. So what was he doing up in that direction? Ooh. I don't want to know what he was doing up in that direction. So of course he is a child of Anya. Died of old age. So was it... Did we send her off to the nunnery? I can't remember now at this stage. We're going to bring our 2 armies. We're going to have to deal with these guys. We can't just leave them running around the place. So we're going to have to try to get the armies together. So I'm going to put them under one army. We have our 5,000. We'll have to fight them. So having defeated that Burgundian army, they're heading away off in some direction. We have Amlib in command of one of the armies, and I believe Ronku in charge of the other. This is our problem now. What are we talking about in terms of losses? 41 and 240 something. Ooh. We need to bring these wars to an end, he said. We need to go in and hit the army, he said. We're just back to sieging places. I'm hoping that they might turn around and come back towards us. They're chasing something down. I have no idea what they're chasing down. I have no idea what their target is. So they seem to be sieging this area. We're going to be in a problem trying to get in there. So we're gonna continue where we are. We have discovered that Gormul So we used her actually to get Thomas to our court as court poet. Doesn't believe in God. We've executed people for that in the past, so you'd want to be careful. And speaking of Gormul, her husband has been reading books by W.B. Yeats, my poet, as he always does as soon as I am in range, starts to declaim at me, "Oh, my precious pet, it must be such a hardship to live life as one abandoned by the muses. You command armies, but you cannot command the written word. Has mankind ever witnessed a more exquisite tragedy? Allow me to assist you. I could write some of your speeches for you." Oh, he's going to ghost write. I thought it was a ghostly pen, as in Yeats, thinking that ghosts and spirits were taking hold of his pen and writing things for him. "My words could use a certain florid infusion, so we would gain 100 diplomacy lifestyle, gain a ghost writer for 5 years, and he would gain a weak hook on us. And my words are fine. Or they may not be fine, but they are from the heart. Personal scheme power +4. Sure, we'll go with that one. Thomas, I don't think you can even... Yeah. You can't even speak Irish. Go away, you. Will nobody even give me 5 minutes to celebrate my birthday? Here is our jester's son, if I am correct. He's playing with other children when Peter tried to push him over. Did not last long, as he'd made an entirely new game out of it. So moving on is the best approach. So that's him fickle. We could have him become wrathful or forgiving. What will forgiving give him? Diplomacy. It's virtuous and it'll give him additional piety. Whereas fickle, I think we should be in a position to take some stress. So must be thought to turn the other cheek and make him forgiving. But like I said, we missed our birthday because there's too much going on. There's too much going on in the world. The High King is 69 years of age. We're still... His health is ailing. So this is why we need to bring these wars to an end somehow. We're probably going to have to try and siege down these two areas and then start off. The French Catholic uprising has ended. I think that's brought one of the sieges to an end because that area is no longer involved. Trying to figure out where is and isn't at war. Now, that was a major war that they were fighting. So yeah, let's see if we can send these guys. Now we can do the cross-country run, because all of this area is no longer hostile. Our sister Fiatach has died of old age. We have gained some stress. We will take this opportunity to punch someone. We are irritable, aren't we? We haven't punched someone in a while. We will lose 42 stress if we punch somebody. Absolutely. I swear to God, I'll punch someone. And what we might do, what we might very well do, is go and actually punch somebody. So this will decrease our stress only slightly. Mystical knowledge. I've come across a book, Dune, describing how ancient monastics used trances and visions, yeah, it's the Bene Gesserit, to commune with heaven. It seems a strange practice in our modern age, but perhaps there is something to be learned from them. What do other texts say? Or I wonder what would happen if I imitate their practices. What could possibly go wrong? And as for lashing out, we are going to lose 28 stress, giving out to Laura and Moel Brazel. Blathering churl. And asking, was Moel Brazel born and naked or a knave? Scahach is discovering more terrible secrets in the court. Deviancy practiced by our jester's wife, the mother of Joffrey, who basically caused us to have that stress breakdown. if we see who Fianach was. So poor Fianach, she would have been out in Tuscany, if I'm correct. So here are her children. Who's ruling in this region now? So it's a rather confused scenario. Our father, of course, married Fianach to, I think, Duke Federigo's son. And we ended up joining a war to keep him on the throne out in this direction. But then when our father died and lost Wales, we could no longer communicate. Tuscany was too far away. So Tuscany couldn't call in any alliances from us. So they have been deposed. And yeah, poor Fianach has died of old age at 62 years of age. Again, reminding the High King of his own age. He's up to 69, approaching 70. His health is poor, and these wars are still continuing. We're told that our Chancellor, Duke Cruhair, has proven himself highly capable in matters of a diplomatic nature. He wants to do some stuff in Leinster. We'll lose a bit of prestige, but we'll let him take the reins. Mystic knowledge of Tir na Nog locked in a room. Strange powders on a burning fire provide overpowering heat, smoke, and smells as I tried to feel the things that lie beyond the world of senses. He's trying to pierce the shroud so that we can get bonuses for our ships, or maybe increased resource production. I do not know how much time passed before strange, indecipherable visions of light and pulsing sounds came to me. Was it my imagination, or a glimpse of the divine? Is there even any way to tell? I need to try again to see if anything is different. You continue to experiment. Interesting. I'll record my findings down for future. Gain 100 lifestyle experience. I'm questioning how good an idea it is to... It's the word experiment that worries me. I'll record my findings for future. As always, things are in a confused scenario over here. We're sieging down what I hope is the capital of the rebellion. We're sieging down something anyway. We're sending over... There's about 300 people here. We're sending over half our army to hit them. And we're leaving the other half to siege this area. That's going to take a very lengthy time. So I'd be hoping that... I would have been hoping that that siege would have done a bit better. We might be in a position where we're just going to have to stand down our armies and leave this, because this is taking up far too much time. We're suspicious of every single child we have, and we will continue to be suspicious of all the children that we have. Our grandson has been taken prisoner. That's not good. As always, our wife, the poor thing, must be absolutely driven, demented at this stage. She can't hide anything from me. These guys are going to get out to sea, which is going to be a bit of a pity. It's the remainder of the army that we're fighting. Yeah, my daughter's angry at me. So she is my child. We've sent the army in here to assist in speeding up this siege. We're still sieging the capital. We might just stand down the armies in a couple of seconds and let the war score tick down. We can, however, go for profit now that we have that lifestyle learning achievement. And so we're going to go for profit. And we're going to go for back to medicine focus for that small health boost. So it's going to knock down the piety a small bit. The monthly piety gain. However, we are getting additional piety from our knights. And we are fairly close. And of course, we can never hit this number if we die. So possibly making those changes, I'd hope that it would... He's fine. He's fine. The king is fine, and 69. Is there a hope that we could hit them? I doubt it. It would be absolutely fantastic. Azure is a non-believer. Sign of a weak soul. So that's them out to sea. We'll probably have to, there you go, spin around in that direction. We're gonna finish the siege up here in a second. I actually don't even know what the hell we're sieging down at this stage. That has been done. It's up to 75%. We're going to try and chase down that army. We're going to try and continue that siege. They've gotten out, the devils. Ken is trying to get us to go to Specsavers again. The last time we sold off everything that we had. Now that we have that remaining... the remaining lifestyle perks, I should say, I'm not really much interested in them. There's none that will actually impact our piety. So, I think we're going to go for... we could get 300 lifestyle experience. I think the next one is going to double the impact of our level of devotion. Clergy opinion plus 40. Wow. I don't care. So we're not going to go for that one. We're not going to give him a weak hook. Just, I told you, sell everything. That book that I'm after buying. The one, the mystic one. Where I had those crazy visions. Sell it. Keeping down the stress is going to be much more important at that stage. Jester. Alan exclaims with a comical tone, "Oh no! Seems I'm falling over again," as he somersaults into Mathod's cabinet. Jesters have had bad luck with that cabinet in the past. Don't you be tempting fate. I am so clumsy. I surely hope I can stay upright this time, he says, forcefully tumbling over. Sacre bleu! My luck is rotten, he giggles. It should be Holloman if he's Irish. It should be localized. Or Wishamacree. Maybe not. No, Holloman. My luck is rotten, he giggles, practically somersaulting into Mathod's cabinet. Again? After all of this, not a scratch on his body. Ha! Falling over without getting hurt. Impressive. Lose 21 stress, or it's no fun if there's no blood. Do it again. Harder. No, we will lose 21 stress. Keeping the stress down is going to be very important. We're probably going to finish the siege just as our army hits these guys, and it doesn't make a difference anymore. We're also going in the wrong direction. A 100% war score. So be it. We'll pause, and we will disband all. In terms of our prisoners, we did not do great. They are all basically bankrupt. They did not have a penny for us. So 3 rather disappointing people, and a Crusader who we absolutely have recruited to court. So he will join us, and he will be put into the army in our near immediate war with the Kingdom of Scotland. Now, there is a problem at the moment. Our granddaughter's claims are not here. She's in Nice, and her husband, our granddaughter-in-law I should say, her husband, our grandson, is in Provence. So I have invited him back to the court. I'm hoping that that will bring her with him. If not, every single claim here is for either a single county or for the kingdom itself, except for our granddaughter-in-law's brother, who also has a claim to the Isles. So we've made him the Duke of Galloway. There's a rebellion against him at the moment. Our other issue, of course, is that if we declare war, and I knew this might happen, we have a truce. Now, I was kind of hoping that somebody might depose this baby. If somebody managed to depose the baby, we'd be in a position to go to war again. I was hoping there'd be enough pressure on him that this would happen. We'll spin 250 prestige. we will lose 1 level of fame. I don't know if I care. I think he gains the right to imprison us. Cultural acceptance will decrease, and we will also get truce broken. With the alliances that we can put together, with the military power that we have to defend our own realm, and with the advanced age of the High King, it is either wait 3 years for that truce to run up, or attack pretty much as soon as our granddaughter arrives in court. If she does, I'm not sure if she'll come with our grandson, her husband, but if not, then her brother's claims will be pushed. And, well now, maybe he is of much greater use to us than our grandson's wife. Do you know what? It'll be an alliance for him when he becomes king, way off in the future. Our granddaughter has not arrived at court. Our granddaughter-in-law. I'm going to see if we can sway her. Because, of course, we are... we're not 69 and fine anymore. We're 70. But we do have that pop-up that's going to tell us a year in advance that that the High King will die. It's about a year in advance. It's not a year on the dot. It's not start a countdown and wait a year. But there's no immediate threat to his health. It's the 5th of April, 1207 is the next time that we can go to war. Legally. My recent endeavours within the realm of theology have given me a greater appreciation of God's representatives on earth. Trying to express some of these feelings, I will draft a letter to the King Bishop, Marinus. I sit down with my daughter, Muirin, and together we craft a truly splendid letter, highlighting His Holiness's belly. We can get lifestyle prestige, or we can get 100 piety. We will talk about his only superior. So with that, we are now 400 points away from religious icon, and we are making 11 a month. I don't know if we can do it. And I think we might be a couple of years out from another pilgrimage. So I'm not too sure that we're going to be in a position to make those final few steps, especially if we need to keep the High King alive. And we do need to keep him alive. Generally, that's a good idea. The only other thing that we could possibly hope for, and it's not happening at the moment from what I can see, or am I wrong? I am wrong. I wasn't too sure if that was in Scotland or not. We're 1 county short of being able to usurp Scotland. That's all we need is 1 county. I don't think we're going to get it. So we could actually look at pushing somebody else's claim, as in I was hoping that one of my vassals would just take that county, and then we wouldn't have to do all this toil and hard work. Martha. So our ward will become diligent. Absolutely, can't say nothing to diligent. And we are told a secret about our son and heir, Patrick. Patrick, you look very unkempt. Oh dear. Somebody called the court physician. Oh no. This is another reason that maybe the High King is beginning to take matters into his own hands in relation to Scotland. We were planning on just sitting back and seeing out the end of his life. On the one hand, with the army that he has, it would have been a terror to have just sat back on those alliances and done nothing. With a baby on the throne of Scotland, you're not just going to sit there and let a baby sit on the throne of Scotland. You're going to involve yourself in the affairs of what's going on there. But we've now gotten to a stage where we have had such a lengthy life, it's entirely possible that if Patrick took the alcoholism trait, and if we were to die right now, that he would reign for less than 10 years as High King. So really he is going to be a transitionary figure to his son Pat Cruhuar. And if we were under Tanistry, we'd be probably in a stage where we would be looking at skipping Patrick. And then we would be into the realms of a Tánaiste Rí, or not a Tánaiste Rí, but a Rí Downa. Somebody who absolutely could have been High King, but never had the opportunity, and we are just looking at absolutely staggering stats. Okay, it's mainly his learning. His Crusader trait. A renowned physician, mastermind philosopher. What a rule it would be. But entirely possible that it won't come to pass. We have discovered that he is harbouring doubts about Catholic doctrine. Oh, Patrick. What would the clergy say? Speaking of babies on thrones, we received a pop-up that our alliance to our brother-in-law had ended. Our brother-in-law. Ugh. And now his 5-year-old son has succeeded. What's his armies like? Yeah, we'll negotiate that alliance. It's always good to have one going in that side of the world. And as we have entered a time of peace, enforced peace, while we're kind of considering what we do and don't want to do, the only problem is if we get that pop-up that the High King is going to be dead in a year, that's not really going to give us time to wage a full-scale war to take a county, so we're going to have to kind of make a decision quickly. But what we will do before then is we will begin construction of only the second building ever. Our discovery of windmills lets us expand the royal forests. What? What are we going to get from this? Increased tax, all developments in this duchy, dev growth, and popular opinion, +10, so that's all of Ulster. We'll upgrade that vast crown forest. Entire towns have been conquered by trees. Settlements often find that the monarch's men have discovered maps, placing their dwellings firmly inside the local crown's wood. So they now have to build their houses in the trees. That'll take 4 years. I don't know if the High King will be living to see that. The unforgiving divils, they always find the best time to show up. Nice. Iceland has decided to start raiding Scotland. Can we see them? Is that them there? There they are. 600 troops. It was 7 for a second. If only these people had the sense to allow themselves to be conquered by somebody in the Kingdom of Ireland. They would be protected by our alliance. But no. Here is Muireduk, our cousin, bodyguard and knight. He's also questioning Catholic doctrine. He's a bit of a question to Catholic doctrine himself. We don't really trust that parentage. Lots of weak souls in the court. That's a bit disappointing. Oh, this damn child will be the death of me. Back to trying to be fickle again. So we took on some stress to get rid of that. His stewardship will drop. Or he can become trusting. Trusting would probably be better, but we're not going to take the stress. Go away, you. We're being called into another war by our... What the hell is he? Son-in-law. His forces are 1,000. You can deal with that yourself. Unless she actually has more alliances. You really should be getting more alliances at this stage. So what is this? It is a war against the Tyranny. So here's our daughter. She hasn't had any children by him yet. And of course you're going to inherit Aragon anyway. If this is the type of rule that you're going to be involving yourself in and dragging us halfways across the world, I'm going to decline. And another reason why we declined, I had to hammer on the pause button a couple of seconds, it was the 22nd when he asked us across. Today, the 23rd of October, 12:05. We will, first of all, try to invite our... We'll leave her there, just in case we don't go to war immediately. The High King of Ireland, his health is poor. We will go to our decisions. We will call a hunt to celebrate the High King's birthday. We will invite our granddaughter to court, and as soon as she arrives, I think we will have to begin the final conquest of Scotland. At this stage, we are seeing Scotland being absolutely ripped apart, even though part of it isn't even in Scotland. Actually, neither of these two wars are for parts of Scotland that are in Scotland. We will indeed push. We could just go for a single earldom. It wouldn't cost us as much in terms of prestige. We could get it finished a lot faster. Here's somebody else who's made a bad idea by not getting alliances. It's going to knock down our level of fame. We're going to have to spend close to 1,000 prestige. It is the most wrathful, the most callous, the most self-centered and egotistical decision that the High King has made to date. But with his health ailing, and with his family evaporating before him, younger members of the family than him dying of old age, this is his last push for greatness to complete the one achievement that has so far failed every member of the family: the conquest of Scotland. We are told that our dishonour comes at a cost, and we are also told that somebody is going about felling a great beast. Prince Umlieb, how is his... It's at 98. We'd get a weak hook on him. Speaking of old age, he's fine. He's a drunkard, like many members of the family, but of course on his death, unless his new wife has any children, the title, Kirkin, will be coming to us. It looks like we're going to get a new court artifact. I do like that this has now become an event that can generate a court artifact for you. However, it's a hide, and I don't think we've any place for that. We have some people. A count, oh no, is joining in on these wars. We're going to raise the armies here, and we're going to probably split them in half and send them sieging down various different places. And before our troops have actually managed to set off, the hunt comes to an end. We gain 150 prestige. And now we're really just in a race against time to see if we can keep the High King alive for long enough. We're sending the armies across. We're going to begin sieging all major population centres in this region. Wolfgang, our food taster, has died of old age. And he is no longer our personal champion, so we have a couple of vacancies in the court. At the moment, we haven't dealt with any threats to the High King's life, really. We're lucky, actually, that Iceland didn't become hostile to us. And the main army with the mangonels, we're just about to see them arrive and lose some casualties. We've lots and lots of different places that that we don't have the capacity to actually siege down very well. I have changed our focus. We did focus on the last episode on bow and arrows, or archery. And we could have gotten crossbowmen if we had let that continue. I have switched across to trebuchets. Archbishop Cuken often quotes passages from the scriptures about holy virtues. I should prove I've paid attention by quoting a passage of my own. I will memorize and recite a section on illness. So, chastity. He is craven, arrogant, and deceitful. I think chastity is what we went with the last time. And it worked. I think it's clear we're not going to get to exalted among men. but we are very close to religious icon. Duke Goitne schemed to have Lochine murdered. So this is Goitne in Munster. Is this Goitne that's been causing trouble for us? It is, but he has a helmet on. So, as far as I know, he kind of has a false nose due to his wounds. So we've discovered that he murdered a member of Brian Boru's family. And there we go. We have inherited the Duchy of Kirken and 2 other titles from Prince Amlib. Why though? Because we're not getting a pop-up that he died. Amlib, what have you done now? We haven't gotten a pop-up, but he has indeed died gout-ridden. Most certainly eligible to be called Ridauna, Crusader, poet. He executed, of course, Moelmura in revenge for killing our uncle. He achieved 2 kills in battle, including... Yeah, he would have been Amlib's brother-in-law as well. Back in our war in France, I think actually when the High King, shortly after the High King took power. Almost 50 years ago, if I'm right. Technically almost 50 years ago, if we add another 10. But Amlib, one of the great princes of the kingdom, has died. We have inherited Kirken, Gari and Kirken. I don't know what we're going to do in that part of the world. Most of these people hate me, and I don't like any of them. I don't like any of them. Except that guy. He's nice. I like him. And him. He's sound as well. We might try and find some distant branch of the family to give this to. Or we could see about giving it to Cruhur, our grandson. Because it's likely he's going to rule in this region at one stage. That's what we'll probably do. We'll probably give it to Cruhur. We'll sort out this war first of all. What I might actually do at some stage is claim some money from the Pope to fix all of the things that we have. Here's the Dál Fiatach romance. We have a lot of things. Oh, the repair cost is 150. We have a lot of things that are fairly low in terms of their durability. So we're going to have to go and start increasing those. We might hold off on that one. I think we've let a lot of them get to the stage where they are going to be quite expensive. Here is the potsherd. It gives us clergy opinion, 38 to fix. We'll repair that for now. And like I said, we'll see about getting some money from the Pope and fixing the rest of the items we have. We're told that Muerduk is no longer our bodyguard. He has gone to Cleve. Why? Why, Muerduk? Why, you dishonourable villain? So there's a Crusader gone. He is in... I don't know what relation Gerhard would be to him. His brother. There you go. Maybe that's why he's gone out there. I presume he's going to be given a court position or something. Well, brother. Yeah. They have the same father. Yeah, sure. Muerduk or Mordecai is, yeah, he's your father. Yeah. Here is Maria of Sutherland, who, of course, has been causing us a bit of trouble of recent. However, she wishes to pay us a visit. Show her in at once. I don't think she has anything for us, am I right? Well, at least she... it does increase her feudal taxes, however. Fantastic. So she's kind of learning. With massive forces on her border, she's beginning to understand that she's in danger. We will take our lifestyle perk. This is the only one that we can go for. Realm opinion. And we see another faction. So it is 7 members. Good heavens. I was about to say, where's quadruple B, or HB3? There he is in the corner. Our nephew, steward and vassal, I think, and he's also the largest, I'd say, in terms of the military, so we'll see. He should be the easiest to sway out of this at the moment. We will convince him of the justness of our cause, and of course we are going to be in a bit of a problem when we finally siege down these places, if we ever do. Because we're going to be bringing a lot more angry people into the kingdom alongside us. One siege is complete. Will we get that second one done quickly? 2 sieges are complete. Scotland arrives with a grand total of 168 men. And our Archbishop Cuken, the poor man, has died. I was swinging these guys up. I split them in half, and I was going to swing them up to take these 2 regions. I'm sending the Mangonels down to finish the siege here. So I'm going to bring these guys over to attack. Despite our best efforts, we've learned nothing. Continue finding schemes for now. What does our new Archbishop look like? He's not the worst. He's not the worst. Much better learning, which is absolutely brilliant, because it should hopefully... Nope. Piety levels have actually dropped a small bit. He does endorse us, however, which is the other good thing. And I should have our Marshal back on control. Look, I suppose. We can't put him training people, because he is a threat to everyone. Is that in Cork? The what little Scottish forces they are getting out far too slow. We still only had 4 knights in there. We have captured Gilroy, the son of King Duff of Scotland. But the King of Scotland is like 6 years of age. So, how is he King Duff of Scotland? There was the former king. I thought he had been deposed. No, of course, he had drank himself to death. So this is probably his brother. I'm getting myself very confused. I was feeling a bit melancholy there for a second, because I thought what had happened was that the king had been deposed. And if we had waited, we'd be in a position to declare war without that penalty. But that is not what happened at all. Our daughter Muirin and Gilchrist have had a daughter, Anya. May you grow up to be strong and wise. We're pretty much going to have to finish this siege down here. Once we have that, I'd be hoping we'd be in a position to almost bring this to an end. I'm going to send this army out and begin sieging down these areas here. And indeed, the king has lost a war for... I don't know where he's after losing a war. That independence faction has been disbanded. That was fast. Also, that's won the wars in Norway. And our marshal is losing control. I'm not even going to look at that. Lads, the noise from this region must be something else. We'll have to pull back, or we'll be deafened. We'll be deafened again. Like I said, nothing huge went in there. There is poor Patrick, 48 years of age. Patrick. He could very well be dead before us. We might very well have Ross taken at some stage. We have seized Worn Language Manual. We're up to 83%. Learn Language Scheme Power. There you go. All the books that we've managed to take. What do we want to do with these guys? We have all the regions that we would want to seize, but we might as well kind of just march in this way and, yeah, try and keep everything going. We actually had a couple of independence factions against us. I should have thought of that. So one of them is still there, can push its demands in a month. It would make a lot more sense for us to try and get her the compassionate trait. I think the High King would show a degree of callousness as well towards a criminal that deserves nothing but disdain. We're getting a ton of pop-ups. Thomas! The way he seeks pleasure is revolting. I'm too old for this. I'm too old. We have some problematic people in here. Why do you hate me so much? Wants a seat in the council. Are you any good at anything? Oh, do you know what? She's not the worst spymaster, but not a hope. Not a hope in hell. That's the one place where we'd want to be putting people who actually like us. So yeah, we're looking at this faction. Activating in a month's time. I don't know if we can bring this war to an end in a month's time. We're at 84% war score, and I imagine it's just going to keep ticking up. We can actually put the book in the court. We can put Dune there. But Dune is there. And we can put furniture over here. The cabinet. Okay, so we can just move things around. I think it's the fact that... I thought it was telling us that we had that new book that was given to us. Or where is the hide? It's a large wall ornament. Prestige 0.2 and court grandeur bonus +2. A powerful vassal opinion now. We need the Dál Fiatach banner for that. So I might gift that to somebody at some stage, because the court is full to the hilt. We have nowhere to put anything. Slowly, the war score ticks up to 85%. We are almost into the year 1207. The High King, what are we talking about at this stage? 72 years of age. Again, his health is still poor. These wars have continued for a considerable period of time. And here we go. To my liege, it is time for you to recognize the ancient and inalienable rights of your vassals, accept the demands of the Liberty faction, or face our swords on the battlefield. We could lose 40 dread, get high crown authority, spend 200 prestige, or at 72 years of age, declare that I will not be threatened. Greetings, my serene liege. May your years be short and miserable. I'm your uncle. Don't you be so, straightforward with me like that. We can no longer tolerate the harsh laws which violate our ancient rights. By the sword, these laws will be cut down. By the sword, you will be cut down. There is no need to rally the troops. They are already mobilized. We are told that Uladh is under siege. Our grandson, Crahur, has had a daughter with the woman whose claims we are trying to push. In the midst of this anarchy, Imag, may you grow to be strong and wise. I'm trying to get my forces out. There are so many pop-ups. I'm trying to get my forces out. We're going to bring them around to the north. I'm hoping if we can finish off one more siege that we will bring this war to an end, because of course we are looking at absolute anarchy in this region. However, we are not entirely without support, or we are not entirely without allies and help. But I'm going to try and reorganize the armies, get them up to the north the way that we can get them all together. I think we're seeing an army trying to come in against us. And they've actually managed to hit us, the Devils. That is the army with our mangonels. We have one knight, poor old Ronku. We have taken Ross. As this war ends, or as this battle intensifies, we will enforce our demands. So be it. A good omen and a bad omen. His Holiness the Pope has given us 440 gold. Just as we suffer a defeat which knocks us down in war score, our new Crusader Knight that we recruited this episode has done fantastic work. Look at who was arrayed against him for real. How could you do this to us after all that we have done for you? And various princes of Scotland, speaking of Scottish princes, we're not in a position to usurp the throne of Scotland because the king is in a war and we need 500 gold. I'm not too sure how long we will be able to keep the coffers at the number that we have them at the moment. Look at these for absolutely massive numbers. One of the largest engagements we have ever been involved in outside of a holy war. I think it's possibly the largest engagement we've ever been involved in. 26,000 troops on the side of the High King, facing off against 15,000 rebels under the command of our nephew. We have forces coming in from Iceland, from Denmark, from the north of Spain, from Holland. And many of them will be converging on Uladh, which is currently under siege. The High King is able to put together an army greater than any that his predecessors have seen. We now have what we need to form the Kingdom of Scotland, and he has been proclaimed a religious icon. And it could all come crashing to the ground. Thank you for joining me on this episode. And I hope you will join me on the next one for what will surely be the last great challenge of Cruhure's regime.